and then just woman. And the thing she does it just so
when you just first up to
I've got to find my just don't want
It might be compared to how to put these out somewhere. I think that looks really good. It's clear, so maybe I can put one.
Yeah, I know.
If Justin's here, could you just come to the front, please? And just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, please just take any rubbish with you when you leave today. Keep the park nice and clean as we found it.
Hi, Elizabeth. It's Emma. Oh, get it, Emma. Yes.
Transformation came like a snake, it slithered in. I just finished packing lunches and making breakfast for the kids. I have the most exciting news, he said, while handing me his cup to fill. I've discovered on the train to I'm actually a girl. How's that supposed to work? Is it like a genie granting wishes? As if it's true, I'd love to transform out of washing all your dishes. He looked at me and smirked. He said, that's not the way it works. And insisted he's a woman now, so he's entitled to the perk. He's a woman now inside his head, because he's so much what he said. And what am I supposed to think?
Can you hear me? Oh, good. Welcome. My name's Narissa, and from Women's Rights Brisbane, I want to thank you so much for coming. Me and the other organisers are so happy that you came to stand with us today as we stand in solidarity with Sall Grover. As we stand in solidarity with Dr. Jillian Spencer. As we stand in solidarity with Kiralee Smith. Standing with women and men. Standing with women, adult, human, females. All of us here are here to demand that the Sex Discrimination Act be amended. After the Julia Gillard Labor government absolutely butchered it back in 2013. We are here to demand that sex self-ID laws be repealed. Here in Queensland, we can thank the then Labor Minister for Women, Shannon Fentiman, for that insanity, which allows any man to falsify his birth certificate to say female. Gillard and Fentiman are traitors to women. Women don't have wangs. Sex is immutable. Humans cannot change sex. Men are not women. Men can't breastfeed. No such thing as cis. No child is trans. Lying to children about reality, drugging children, interfering with their natural puberty, surgically altering their bodies, chemically castrating them, and playing along with their psychological delusion is no form of medical treatment. It is child abuse. So I see so many familiar faces, but so many more new faces. At events like these, which, like me, many of you have been a part of over the last 6 years or more, sometimes we would only have a handful of people come along. So it's absolutely incredible to see the support grow as word finally gets out about what's been happening in Australia. And people are rightly pissed off about it. So please, anyone here, please feel free to live stream this wherever you like. For those watching on the live streams, thank you so much for tuning in, and please share this with friends and family. And I know for some here today it will be your first time attending a rally like this, so thank you for your courage in showing up. The only good thing to come of this shit show, seeing us giving up our Sundays, being away from our daughters to stand up and speak the truth, because we do have an obligation to speak the truth. The only good thing to come of it is the people you meet along the way. They're everyday heroes, and it's the thing that stops you from literally losing your mind. So let's see where you're all from. Who's from Brisbane? Hands up. Woo! What about Sunny Coasters? Represent. Woo! Gold Coast. Yeah. Northern Rivers of New South Wales. Harvey Bay? Toowoomba? Townsville? Yeah! Represent, thank you. I'm sure I missed some, but thank you, men and women, all of you. There's some children here as well. Thank you so much for coming. So glad you could come and stand with us as we demand the restoration of our rights, our hard-won rights, to female-only single-sex spaces, sports and services. Speaking of heroes, the incredible Sall Grover needs little introduction. Sall is the founder of Giggle, which will be the world's only woman-only online social network. Sall is also the woman in the Giggle v Tickle court case, the first sex versus gender identity discrimination court case in the world. So far, she has lost what is a woman in court to a man twice. Sall has now applied to the High Court of Australia and seeks to re-establish female-only spaces and the accurate definition of woman in law. Sall is a single mother to a daughter. Let's hear it for Sall.
Closer.
Is that better? Oh, there we are. Okay, hi. Thank you everybody so much for coming. So I am the woman in the Giggle Be Tickle case, and so far I've lost what is a woman twice to a man. But we're going to lose some battles along the way here, but we're going to win the war.
Yes.
Because all we are saying is truth and reality. Now, I don't know if you've heard, but recently the ABC wouldn't publish an article that I wrote about this issue. This is one of the reasons why. They said to me, the ABC argues that by publishing an inaccurate and misleading item, harm could result to a vulnerable group. What is your response to this? I responded with this. Men who claim to be women are not vulnerable. They are the most powerful group in the country. Don't believe me? Misgender or say no to one of them and see who has the power. This vulnerable group has the Australian Human Rights Commission and the government on their side. Women who want women-only spaces on the basis of sex don't have that. Who is more vulnerable? To say that men who claim to be women are vulnerable is an accuracy I would seek to challenge at the ABC. Would the ABC publish an op-ed by me explaining that men who claim to be women aren't vulnerable? What does it say about the ABC if they wouldn't? I trust you can see what I'm getting at. They didn't respond. This group of men who claim to be women, are not vulnerable in this country at all. They have every institution on their side. They have human rights commissions at the federal and state level demanding payouts from women like me, Kiralee Smith, and Jasmine Sussex, effectively getting us to pay for their boob jobs so they can emulate us. They come to our rallies and events and threaten us, and the media turns a blind eye to the absolute worst of men abusing women who want nothing more than to get away from them. You may be able to use bad, muddled legislation to convince a court that a man is a woman, but it doesn't make him one, and it sure as shit doesn't make me believe it. The reality is that even if we gave men who claim to be women the word woman, so it was completely redefined to mean men who claim to be women, we would still need a word for adult human females. The point being, these men will never be us. And the demographic of adult human females, women, and child human females, girls, need a word, rights, and protections in law. That is all we're asking for. But this isn't just about women's rights. We are the canary in the coal mine. Gender ideology attacks human beings at one of our most basic instincts, sex recognition. An evolutionary skill that is so instinctual, we don't even realize the moment that we are acknowledging biological sex in every interaction we ever have. We're doing it right now. Everyone should have the right to acknowledge that a man is a man, a woman is a woman, a boy is a boy, and a girl is a girl, and it is impossible to change or be neither. If the state can force you to accept men as women, they can force you to accept anything. Don't let them. In August, so just a few weeks away, we will find out if Giggle v. Tickle, the stupidest named court case in the world, the name it deserves, is going to the High Court. We're going there on one point: single-sex spaces. From that, the definitions flow. All we are asking the court is that women have single-sex spaces, and men, and boys, and girls. An inactive government needs to be asked, was this a march? I'm shocked they have a skill. And an active government needs to be asked, was it the intention to write women out of legislation? Were we supposed to just shut up and accept it? What is the plan if we don't? Punish everyone? They can't punish everybody. Hardly anybody wants these laws. They are the minority. They're just loud and musical. Everybody needs to stand up and say no and demand, fix the act. Thank you. I now want to invite onto the stage Kira Smith, who doesn't get nearly the attention she deserves, because for the last billion years has been fighting these pricks in court, because she was the one bringing attention to the fact that men are in women's sports and we don't want them there. Thank you, Kira.
Thanks, Sal, and thanks everyone for being here. It's just so encouraging to be around like-minded people. So basically, Sal was found guilty of discrimination and ordered to pay $20,000 in damages. Boo, exactly. But this is a joke, okay? You're not trying hard enough, Sal, because I'm under a 2-year apprehension of violence order, and I've been ordered to pay $95,000. And it doubled because I didn't pay it within 30 days. I'm laughing because it is so insane and so ridiculous. Men are not women. Those men know they're not women. That's why we need the police here to stop the angry men who want to be called women. And you know what? Not enough of them being told no. If they were told no more often, we wouldn't be in this mess. And so we're here today to say no. Sal has said no, and we're all saying no. You'll notice there's been no debate in the media or in Parliament House because they've got nothing. They've got absolutely nothing. We all know that men are not women. We all know that humans cannot change sex. I have had to have the very distressing experience of sitting in court where a judge and all the barristers have to refer to two men in women's sport as Miss, she and her. And I got severely reprimanded for refusing to go along with that lie. Don't believe that courts are evidence-based. They don't care about evidence. So I'll just say that as a preface to anything else you read about me in the media is not true, pretty much. I think Sal says it all the time. Whatever they say about gender ideology, believe the opposite. I agree. There's one such lie that goes around that the men in women's sport haven't injured female players. We all know that to not be true. And the fact that in court they've taken a little bit and said that I didn't have any evidence to show it. Let me explain to you that I have spoken to so many female athletes, their parents, coaches, a club captain, who have all cried on my shoulder, showed me their injuries, but are too afraid to testify in court. What does that tell you? Are they the vulnerable minority, or are they the mafia-style powerful ones? I was the only one in court telling the truth. I refused to use wrong sex pronouns. I will never be compelled to lie, and I will advocate for women and girls, for our sex-based rights, for men. Thank you, men, for being here today. We need you good men to stand up. And over again, I will say no, Sal will say no, Dr. Jillian Spencer has said no, Drew Hutton and Malcolm Roberts, all of us are here to say no, and we need your voice, and thank you very much for standing here and saying no.
Yes, again, thank you so much, Sal Grover, and thank you, Kira Lee Smith. Warriors both. Thank you for never stopping speaking the truth. No men in women's sport. no men in women's spaces. Men are not women. A man in a dress is a man in a dress. A woman is not a costume nor a feeling or a fetish in a man's head. Our detractors claim we are far right, but I'm a lifelong left voter. Yeah, I know. And later we will hear from the founder of the Queensland Greens. We also invited someone from the Labor Party to come and speak today. Of course, no deal there. But coming up, we will hear a message from Senator Michaelia Cash from the Liberal Party. And next, Senator Malcolm Roberts has kindly joined us in support today. Senator Pauline Hanson had conflicting commitments and unfortunately she couldn't make it. I know lots of you are genuinely disappointed, especially the ones who came to disrupt. But Senator Roberts has taken time away from a family holiday to be here. He has been outspoken about the destruction of women's rights at the hands of state-enforced gender ideology for many years now. And if you haven't yet seen him in action at Senate estimates, I encourage you to check it out online. Brilliantly exposing the absurdity of ideologues like the Sex Discrimination Commissioner, Anna Cody. Disgraceful. Malcolm has shown support for Sall and the many others who fight against regressive, sexist, harmful gender ideology. So thank you, Senator Malcolm Roberts.
I don't have to adjust it. First time. Love, care, reasoning. These are three traits unique to our species, male and female. We're all here because humans largely display these traits. We're here today because we care. There are two exceptions, as shown over there. First of all, the ego. It's fear-driven and it drives some people to control others. That's what this is all about. It's about control. And always beneath control there is fear. The second thing that sometimes interrupts our care and our love and our reasoning is a need for belonging. And it can be overpowering. It leads to the herd mentality, the mob mentality, and we see it over there. A desire to conform with what's perceived as mainstream. History is littered with ego-driven, power-hungry, warped maniacs. This is about mental health. It's not about women and men, it's about mental health. The one thing I want everyone to remember is that the feminist movement, which has done so much work for women and for men, has now been hijacked and now shows complete lack of respect for women. This matters because this is a planned attempt to remove women's safety, women's rights, to divide our society. This is planned. It's based on and shows complete lack of respect for women, more than 50% of our species, and a complete lack of respect for humans. It's a tool of the globalist elites, anti-human movement seeking to control, and I've talked about that many times. It's one of many strategies, tactics and tools to divide. A tiny group of warped, financially and politically motivated egomaniacs that try to control everything. But let's get back to here. Look at all the truthers. Thank you for being awake, for making an effort for not only women, but for humans in general, for mothers, women and our human species. You are making a stand for our human species. That's what this is all about. We are together on the front line of an information war, an indoctrination war. What you're seeing is a culmination of decades of indoctrination, starting in Parliament, going through the school system. I want to thank all the organisers. Narissa, thank you. I want to thank the speakers. I am so honoured, so proud to follow people like Giggle, Sal Grover and Kiralee Smith. These people have been at the front line for years. I also want to highlight Jillian Spencer. And I also want to highlight Israel Folau, who I met for the first time on Thursday. He has been fighting this by standing by his freedom of conscience for years now. Bernard Gaynor, Drew Hutton. Drew Hutton has been pilloried by the party he started himself. And I want to thank everyone here with the integrity, sense and courage to bravely stand up for common sense and truth, and stand up for women and mothers. The original feminists were suffragettes who fought for and achieved the vote for women and for rights for women. South Australia, 1894. Australia, federal system, 1902. Now my mum was ahead of her time. 60 years ago she was awake to so many trends that were back then at the time starting to derange our society. And I mean that word, derange our society. What we're seeing is mental health problems over there. On this topic, women, and proud of her womanhood, her female, she told me the feminist movement has been hijacked 60 years ago. And modern so-called feminists were removing women's rights and safety. That's from my mum 60 years ago. She proudly told me women and men are not equal. In many ways, my wife is far superior to me, and I want to thank her. In some ways, she's not my equal. But the point is, both sexes are complementary to each other. We depend on each other, we need each other. So I want to thank my wife for being a woman. Without both female and male, life is impossible. Both biological sexes working together. Neither is superior to the other, neither is inferior. Both are complementary. And we see it right here now. Both are inherently different. And we should be proud of those differences. With differing needs, emotional, health, mental, physical needs. That's it all. Personally, only women can do our species, the human species' highest job. What's the highest job of our species? Mothering. Mothering. Only mothers can carry and develop a baby in the womb. Only a woman can birth a new human. Breastfeed. Nurture as a mother. There's a difference. I've seen it with two women, particularly my wife and my mother, who've both been marvellous at it. I cannot be a mother. Yes. Full stop. Notwithstanding that, noted and respected child development expert Maria Montessori said, quote, "The critical years for the formation of both character and intellect are birth to 6, when the focus is, in many ways, children look to their mother. So mothers play the crucial role. When a parent dies, the other parent or another adult steps in. We know that happens because we care. But children benefit from having a mum and a dad, from male and female. But nonetheless, mothering in many ways is the crucial component. Despite the primacy of motherhood, women now feel threatened with biological males invading women's sports change rooms. Girls' change rooms. Keep your bits out of that space. Invading women's toilets, girls' toilets. Women feel afraid for their safety when men invade their sports and sporting teams, competing against women yet having physical attributes of men. They are men. Yep. Women feel disappointed, frustrated, hopeless as athletes. Imagine this, spending decades training to have some mediocre male line up at the starting point with you and beat you. What does that... Of course it's bullshit. Bullshit. Just imagine the psychology that's undermining and decreasing motivation in training and competition. It's just not bloody right. It's completely wrong. It's inhuman. This is an anti-woman movement, falsely dressed up as a way to protect people portrayed falsely as being of no sex, no gender. First, it allowed men who cut off their bits to enter women's spaces. They're still men, but they're men without bits. Next, gradualism, it allowed men who merely identify as women, with their bits still intact. The Gillard Labor government in 2012 changed the Anti-Discrimination Act. Gillard last Friday week said that when she legislated Sex Discrimination Act to include women who merely identify as women, and that in itself is a contradiction and exposing right there. She said it wasn't foreseen what would happen. Well, that's bullshit, because the next day the Senate report came out from 2012. It was disclosed saying that this very crisis was anticipated, and they advised that it would happen. And this is the point. This lie is based upon lies that's come out of Parliament House, Canberra, from the politicians down there. We need to do something different about that as voters. We're giving men with a mental health problem the ability to call themselves whatever they want, men or women or neither. It's another example of gradualism, subtle incremental changes that pass, often with the aid of indoctrination. This has been organised through the school system for decades, until our society is suddenly ambushed with absurdity or crisis or harm to women. They don't care about women's health. They don't care about women's safety. Let's be clear. You cannot change sex. You cannot. You cannot change gender. Chromosomes. My wife has XX chromosomes. I have XY chromosomes. And we cannot change that. She will always have XX. I will always have XY. Puberty and adolescence is the time for changing into adulthood, not changing sex. After puberty, as adults, we each retain the traits of our biological sex. Doctors offering sex change, think about this. Doctors offering sex change say, what do you want to be? Male or female? That's all. They're the only choices. Male traits and female traits transcend race. Think about this. Zulus, Pygmies, Caucasians, Europeans, Australian Aboriginals, Asians. Every one of those races is so different. Yet you can always tell whether it's a female or a male. Every one of them. Because they're universal traits defining sex and gender. My 2-year-old grandson, when he was 2 years old, he's now 3 and a bit. And this goes to Sall's comment about everyone understands this. He could barely speak. He could only speak a few words. And a man came up to him with a ponytail. And he said, guy. And he'll point to that lady there as girl. That man there as guy. He knows, not from the hair, but from the whole aspect. And it's the same across our animal species. No one can change basic biology. No one. When we try, it ends sadly in disaster for those who do try, and it ends in disaster for society. Now, the globalists use many issues to divide society and confuse people. This is just one of many that we've got to deal with in federal parliament. Always, they're setting one group against another, male against female, polarising, demoralising all people, instilling conflict. They create victims and they weaken all people. So many times, it's the women who are victims. But you're strong. Sometimes it's you're the perpetrators because it's a transgender, as if there can be any such thing as transgender, who are the victims. So the women are the perpetrators, with perception of going against what is falsely portrayed as the majority. That's a tiny minority, it's not a majority. This is the majority. Most humans are afraid of going against the apparent majority because it invokes fear of being cast out, ostracised. We all want to belong. And for our ancestors, being kicked out of family or tribe meant certain death. That's why people are afraid of going out of the mainstream. And that's why the people who want to separate and divide create an aura of mainstream. That fear, often subconscious, remains ingrained in so many people today. And that's why so many people don't speak up. But this is so bloody ridiculous. Thank you for waking up and for speaking out. Thank you. Elite globalists, such as those at senior levels of the UN bureaucracy and World Economic Forum, use this as one of many issues to destroy both basic structures of a civilized human society. The civilized human society structure is based on the family and the nation state. Their objective is to put in place an unelected, these are their words, not mine, their words, an unelected socialist global governance morphing into global communism. That's their words. Look, for example, at the West response to COVID. Contradicted to data as a way of instilling control over we the people and transferring wealth from we the people to globalist corporations and wealth funds like BlackRock, Vanguard's First State, State Street. During COVID, government's responses were lies. Governments co-opted people's rights, stole basic inherent freedoms, although these freedoms are birthrights. Freedom cannot be removed. Freedoms are inherent, universal, eternal. You are free to be a woman. You are free to be a man and to be proud of it. In the past, control freaks and totalitarian dictators used obvious, visible, physical control over the masses. Gestapo, guns, tanks, murders, hangings. Everyone knew they were being controlled. Now, in recent decades, they use more sophisticated methods. Indoctrination in schools from birth onwards. Indoctrination from birth onwards. Mouthpiece media, including TV, movies rather, streaming. Capture of key weaklings in parliaments and in politics, including so-called leaders. I'll wrap up. The people being controlled these days do not know they're being controlled until we wake up together. Pauline Hanson, One Nation, every federal and state One Nation MP and I support you here. Pauline and I were the first to call it out in federal parliament. We're winning. I'll tell you a little story. When it was first raised by the Greens in federal parliament, there'd be 5 of them speaking and me opposing them. They try and drown me out. Recently, about 12 months ago, Nick McKim was the only one who stood up for it. There were 5 of us speaking against him. And his speech was so deranged, so warped, that I posted it on my website as an example of their behaviour. We have tried to change the offending, stupid, dishonest legislation. Twice Pauline has moved it with my support. We moved to restore and reinforce the concept of biological sex in legislation. We've moved to protect women's safety and rights. But this will only be fixed by changing the Act. I was horrified at the judgment against Sall in the federal court. Horrified. Until I found out that it was legislated and the courts made the right judgment in law. It's the law that has to be changed. So in winding up, the one thing I want everyone to remember is that the feminist movement has been hijacked and now shows complete lack of respect for women. It matters because this is a planned attempt to remove women's safety and rights to divide our society. It's based on and shows a complete lack of respect for women and lack of respect for humans. So please contact your members of parliament, the senators and federal House of Reps, and demand the 2012 Sex Discrimination Act be changed to include only biological women as females. Only biological women. Finally, thank you for standing up for women, standing up for mothers, standing up for humans. Thank you for restoring reasoning, care and love. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Senator Malcolm Roberts. He's taken time away from a family holiday to be here today, and we appreciate his voice and his advocacy. Yeah, so these crew over here, they're nothing new to us. I know some of you, it's the first time for you here, but this crew, their blue hair mob, have been stalking, harassing, intimidating, following, setting up at our events over the past 2 years at least. With impunity, and so it's great to have so many numbers here because we have strength in numbers. So thank you again for being here. So Dr. Jillian Spencer needs a little introduction also. She's a child and adolescent psychiatrist who was stood down by the Queensland Children's Hospital in April 2023 for raising very valid concerns about gender interventions for children. Shame. Jillian is a courageous mother and ethical doctor, unwilling to stay quiet as a medical scandal unfolded in front of her eyes. Let's hear it for Dr. Jillian Spencer. Thank you so much. You know, I'm always at risk of crying, so don't cheer too much because it sets me off. Thank you. I am so tired of people telling me that using preferred pronouns is just a courtesy. I think these people like to pretend that we've been given a choice. But as some of us have discovered, if you don't use preferred pronouns, gender activists will try to ruin your life. This is what happened to me in the Queensland Children's Hospital in 2022. I was directed to always use the preferred pronouns of traumatised, confused and mentally unwell children suffering gender distress. I was required to consider these children to be naturally trans and to encourage them to attend the gender clinic. The gender transitioning of children is a medical scandal. The Australian gender clinic model involves affirmation of a child's claimed gender identity, the prescription of puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, and later on, referral for gender surgeries to make the child resemble the opposite sex. Over the last 6 years, there have been multiple systematic reviews of the worldwide research literature that have found that gender interventions lack evidence of benefit and cause serious harms such as infertility, lack of sexual function, physical health problems and the risk of regret. A recent high-quality Finnish study showed that people who transitioned under the age of 23 have a massively increased rate of engagement with specialist mental health services. This indicates that gender interventions worsen mental health. In the face of a medical scandal, there is no honour in keeping quiet. There is no honour in keeping your job if your job involves harming children. The public's trust in medicine will not be maintained by doctors pretending that there isn't a problem and turning a blind eye to their colleagues who are prescribing harmful hormonal interventions. These are distressed children and we are being trusted to help them. Every time I speak publicly to alert people to this scandal, there's a risk that a gender activist will complain about me to our medical regulator, APRA, who will then restrict my medical registration so that I can no longer work as a doctor. But the gender doctors are perfectly safe to promote the gender transitioning of children and to make false claims about its benefits. This bias is because APRA has aligned itself with the perspective of gender activists. APRA is not trying to protect children from these harmful interventions. Instead, they are punishing health practitioners who raise concerns. They say these practitioners are discriminating against trans people. APRA is signed up to 2 LGBTIQA+ programs, the Rainbow Tick Scheme and ACON's Pride in Diversity Scheme. These programs mean that APRA is embedding LGBTIQA+ ideology at all levels of its organisation. There are almost 1 million health professionals in Australia who have to be registered with APRA to remain employed. Unfortunately, in Australia, left-wing governments have tied their brand to gender ideology and they give extensive funding to the LGBTIQA+ lobby groups. Health services are aligning themselves with government policy to receive ongoing funding. Health services haven't changed their clinical approach in response to the research evidence showing that the gender affirmation model is harmful. They're not admitting that they are implicated in a medical scandal. They're doubling down. Every openly gender-critical health professional that I know
has suffered moderate to severe career and personal implications from expressing their concerns. And this has been done to us in the name of kindness and inclusion. When we apply to present at conferences, we are declined. When we write journal articles on this topic, they are rejected. Professional debate on this issue has been silenced within the profession. I believe that gender affirming care is not a form of healthcare. It is a political movement masquerading as healthcare. The guise of healthcare was used to avoid public scrutiny as it gives it the air of medical expertise. And sadly, doctors are too scared to resist the corruption of the medical profession by gender activists. I think the only way that we can end this medical scandal is for the general public to put sufficient pressure on politicians so that they take action to stop the gender activists and gender doctors. So I am very, very thankful to everyone who has attended today, and I hope that we can eventually celebrate the end of this medical scandal together. And I just want to tell you a little secret. On the 17th of July, the Queensland Children's Hospital will release a media statement about my employment. And I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I'll give you a sign.
Yes, more. Thank you, Dr. Jillian Spencer. We know the cost of speaking up for doctors like yourself and Dr. Andrew Amos, and we applaud your courage and your strength. And just as an aside, LGP, drop the T. LGB, drop the T. The problem is the TQ. Radical transgender ideology. Some people don't like me calling it radical because it's not very radical. But gender ideology is the problem, the TQ. Okay. And the handmaidens, yes. Okay, Drew Hutton has been one of Australia's leading environmental and social justice campaigners for the past 60 years. He was a founder of both the Queensland and Australian Greens and more recently, president of the Lock the Gate Alliance. He was expelled from the Greens for supporting free speech and sex realist arguments, took the party to court, was reinstated and now has resigned, stating the party is irredeemable. Give it up for Drew Hutton.
I'm the tallest speaker anyway. Yeah, I might not be the best speaker, but I'm the tallest. You know, if you walk around the inner city areas here with me, I could point out to you many places where I was arrested during the 1980s. In civil disobedience campaigns against the government of the day, which had banned free speech. The Pajelki-Peterson government. And I would put up my milk crate in the mall and I'd start speaking and get as much done as I could, and gather as many people around me as I could before the police came and hauled me away. And we won that campaign. We got free speech in Queensland. But it never occurred to me that actually, decades later, we have to fight the same fight all over again. Free speech is under attack again, but it's not from the right. This time it's from the left. That lot over there. And in my party, the Greens, that I helped to found, I got into trouble because I would refuse to delete comments, credible comments, that had been made by gender-critical people, some of whom were professors of philosophy, for heaven's sake. Even so, I let them on. And the Greens said to me, you delete them or you're expelled. Well, when I set up the Greens, free speech was absolutely essential to our politics. So I refused and I got expelled. Thank you, thank you. I'm pretty proud of that, actually. But you know, the problem isn't really those people over there, they're just stormtroopers. The problem is the ideologues, the ones who are in it for the power. They've got this little theory. I mean, it's contradictory, it's shallow, it's anti-democratic, it's full of magical thinking rather than reason and logic, and it's mostly there so that they can impose that on everybody else. Well, we're not going to cop it. You can't have freedom without boundaries. Those people cannot have unlimited freedom, neither can anybody. We all have to live within boundaries. So you can't have freedom without boundaries, and you can't have democracy without free speech. And these people are trying to destroy both. Now there's two things. I think we're going to win this campaign, and there's two things that are essential for us to do that. That is courage and strategy. Courage and strategy. I've got this saying, I've used it in various campaigns over the years. When our governments fail us, ordinary people have to become heroes. Now our leaders have failed us from all the parties, all the major parties, including the Greens, my old party. They're the worst, actually. And so it's been up to ordinary people to step forward. Now the people that I've got most, that I admire most, are those women mostly who for years fought this struggle on their own. And they took a lot of abuse, they took a lot of ostracisation, they took a lot of suffering as a result of it. But then ordinary people began to step forward and become real heroes. And I'm talking about Sall, Jillian Spencer, Kira Smith, and that wonderful campaign I met up with in Melbourne last weekend, Jasmine Sussex, who says a man should not and really cannot breastfeed a baby. How outrageous is that? Now the other thing we need is strategy. We need to be able to work out how to win this. These people have had a strategy. They've infiltrated every organisation they can. We need a strategy which is going to oppose that and is going to beat them. There are a number of things that we can do here. The first one, join a group. There are women's groups, women's rights groups. We've got IWD, the engine. We've got a stall down here. We've got Women Up Queensland, who have organised this rally. Good on them. I'm a member of that myself, actually. Give myself a clap. Australian Feminists for Women's Rights, national organisation, Binary, Kira Lee's organisation. Women Speak Tasmania. Hello, we've got somebody there for Women Speak Tasmania. How good is that? So join a group. Keep the networks going. We need to keep the information flowing between us, and we need to give each other solidarity. That's really important. It doesn't matter if we disagree about politics or religion or anything else. We've got different policy emphases. What we can all agree upon is that that Sex Discrimination Act has to be fixed. And that troubled children having trouble growing up should not be given puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones and surgery to fix a problem which should be fixed with therapy. Now, I'm hoping, as everybody else is, that Sall can win her case in the High Court. She's just been an absolute revelation to me. I thought I knew what a good campaigner was until I met Sall. I hope she wins that. And that would certainly be a huge victory on our part. Similar to the court case in England, which did establish that a woman is an adult human female. But we need to have more strings to our bow. In 2028, there is a federal election. And we should be putting as much pressure on between now and then to get governments or to get the political parties to change their position on this issue. So we have gatherings like this. We have petitions. We have the groups which are lobbying the politicians. But we also need to think, how can we put the real pressure on these people? Because they seem to be pretty resistant to rational discourse. So let them feel a bit of heat. Let's think about doing things like marginal seats campaigns. Why don't we go into a couple of marginal Labor seats in the different states and say to people, you only need to swing this seat by 2% and it goes against the government of the day. And a new government can come in that is actually going to fix this act. And if Labor isn't going to change their policy, then they're going to be looking at losing a whole lot of marginal seats and losing government. So we put the pressure on them. And we say to every candidate and every party who lines up for that 2028 election and every other state election, by the way, that crops up, if you're not prepared to commit yourselves to fixing the legislation which erases women's rights, then we're not going to vote for you. Not only that, but we're going to go out there and we're going to try to persuade as many people as possible not to vote for you. And that means not just in the House of Representatives, the lower house, it also means the Senate, because any new legislation has to pass both the lower house and the upper house. So let's make sure that we've got Senate teams in there that are going to win back control of the upper house from any parties that are going to keep that horrible piece of legislation intact. So we have a plan. These ideologists had a plan too. They were going to infiltrate every organisation they could, take them over and try to force an alien ideology, an ideology which is unacceptable to the vast majority of Australians, to impose that on us. That was their plan, and it's been working so far. But we've got a plan too. We've got a plan. We're going to do what should have been done in 2013. We're going to take this to the people. Thank you.
Drew Hutton, yes, give it up for Drew Hutton. Drew, your voice, your support are very welcome in this fight. Not the trans, not the state. Women will decide their fate. If you do want to make a donation today, there's a few tins going around, guys, so dig deep if you can. Now I'd like to invite Elizabeth, a fearless women's rights advocate, to come up and deliver a message from Senator Michaelia Cash.
Thank you, thank you. My name's Elizabeth. I'm a woman. I'm the old-fashioned kind. I don't have a penis. So we've got the trans rights crazies down the road. I went and got some footage earlier. They've got 3 horses. It looked like 100 police. I missed that. And they call women like me and women and men, well, not the men, but unless you're an honorary ally, they call women like me and the women here TERFs and transphobes. So I say to everyone here, hello, beautiful TERFs and transphobes. Only the best. So I have the honour and privilege today of reading a speech from Michaelia Cash, the Attorney General, soon to be, maybe. Or maybe we'll have Senator Malcolm Roberts. I'm sure you can take it up to her, Senator. Before I read Senator Michaelia Cash's message, I want to show you why this matters. These are real men. And as we've heard today, real women in real court cases are receiving or getting real consequences for telling the truth. So I'm going to tell some truth bombs today. This is Roxanne, dead name Jason, Tickle. He's a man. This is the photo that he took after he joined the Women and Girls Lismore hockey team. And he's in the girls and the women's change rooms. I'll just show this photo here. This is his onboarding photo that Sall Grover looked at and rejected his entry into her women-only app because he's a man. I could go on, but I don't want to bore you. If you'd like to come up and have a look at it a little bit closer, this says he's a man and he's got a V balloon and a little balloon that says it's a girl. He's a man. This is Riley Dennis. Riley Dennis, if you're in turf world like I have been for almost a decade, I'll just tell a little story. He's from America and he used to have a debate on YouTube with a brilliant turf that has since passed, Magdalene Burns. And he had a debate. She's brilliant. Please look her up, Magdalene Burns. And I think she's picked a lot of women, and Kelly J. Keane had interviews with her. She really is good. And she's got a famous saying, "Fuck off, Riley." And I don't like swearing very much, so please excuse me, but fuck off, Riley. Fuck off out of the girls' soccer team. You don't belong there because he's a man. Kira Smith has been fined, I think the fine against her for Riley, she's been fined $95,000. I'm a lawyer, 20 years experience, both private and public sector. So I read the cases in detail, unfortunately. And she's been fined $40,000 for him, and I think $55,000 for the other dude. I think she got less for him because he has got a public profile. I don't know, I can't remember now. Anyway, $95,000 for saying the truth. He's a man. He's a man. Julia Gillard. We don't know. But what we can say to Julia Gillard, the Honourable Julia Gillard, Australia's first and only female Prime Minister, that we will not be lectured by you, Miss Gillard, about sexism and misogyny. Not now, not ever. Shame on you. You are a traitor to your sex. You have betrayed women and girls, and I love the fact that the people in Britain, the Welsh women, the Mr. Mennos, if you look online, she's getting heckled at every event she goes to in England now. And long may the heckling continue. Last year at the Olympics, to our internal shame as a society, this man, I'm a man, Khalif, bashed a woman. More women, lots of women on the world stage, to the silence of those supposed experts and adults in the room, the International Olympic Committee, which has now said, yes, in the Olympics, you don't have to have, you can't have men in women's sports. Do the women that lost the race, the 800-metre race in the 2016 Brazilian Olympics, get their medals back to the 3 men that they lost their Olympic medals to? Most people don't know that because the media, the shameful media in this country, won't cover it. You lie, media, shame on you. All right, so we've got Hannah Mounsey. He's on the Q&A a few years ago saying, what's his name? Callum Mounsey, Hannah Mounsey, dead name Callum. He's on the Q&A in the ABC with Kieran Perkins. Kieran Perkins, there'll be blood if men can't play in women's sports. He didn't say it like that. All right, and William Thomas and Riley Gaines. William Thomas, 6'2", 200 pounds, and they put a man in the women's rounds. Shame on you all. Shame. All right, so that's it. Oh, no child is born in the wrong body. Women are being punished for telling the truth. Jillian Spencer is punished for telling the truth. So thank you. That's my little performance to say he's a man, and I may get fined for doing this. Well, not fined. I may be penalised for saying he's a man because in Australia there is no truth. There is no freedom of speech, and shame on the political parties other than One Nation. Shame on the Liberal Party. Shame on the Liberal National Party, who have freedom of speech enshrined in their constitution and yet say nothing about Sall being punished by $8,000 for, and I quote, gratuitous, disrespectful misgendering. Has anyone heard from the Liberal Party about that, about changing the law on that? Have we heard from One Nation? Yes. Yeah, sorry. I've been told to move on. All right, Senator Cash, brilliant. Attorney General, Shadow Attorney General, Senator Honourable Michaelia Cash, and here's her speech. To everyone gathered today at Queen's Garden, thank you for being here. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person, but I want you to hear this clearly. I stand with you. The coalition stands with you, and we are not giving up on this fight. You are here because women and girls in this country deserve certainty. Certainty that a refuge is actually safe. Certainty that a change room is actually private. Certainty that a sporting competition is actually fair. For most of our history, none of this was controversial. It was common sense. Biological sex matters, and it matters most in places where women are their most vulnerable. That certainty has been taken away. The Giggle v. Tickle case exposed just how confused and contradictory our law has become. A women-only space built by women for women was dragged through the federal court and told that excluding a male may be unlawful. On appeal, that uncertainty wasn't fixed, it was made worse. Let's be honest about what that means. It means a woman's shelter can't be sure it stands on safe legal ground when it turns away a man. It means a rape crisis centre can't be certain it can keep a man out of the room. Women and girls in this country are being asked to live with that uncertainty every single day. I brought legislation to the Senate earlier this month to fix this. The Sex Discrimination Amendment, Restoring Common Sense and Recognising Biological Sex Bill, would have restored a clear, common sense definition of sex in our law based on biology so that women's refuge, change rooms, hospital wards and sporting competitions had the legal certainty they deserve. No more exemptions, no more permission slips, no more 3-year waits for a tribunal to tell women what they already know. The Labor government and the Greens combined to block it. Shame. They had the chance to give women and girls certainty and they chose not to. Every one of them who voted it down owes the women of Australia an answer. Why should a woman fleeing a violent partner have to share a refuge with a biological man? Why should a mother's daughter face legal uncertainty over her own change room? Why should a female athlete who has trained her whole life have to have the integrity of her sport left hostage to a definition a court can reinterpret at any time? There are no good answers to these questions and there never will be. So here is my message to you today. Do not stop. Do not go quiet. Keep making your voices heard in the media, in your communities and at the ballot box. The Coalition will not let this issue disappear. We will keep fighting for the restoration of common sense and biological sex in our law, and we will take this fight all the way to the next election. Women and girls in this country deserve better than they are getting from this government. They deserve a parliament with the courage to say so, plainly and without flinching. Thank you for standing up. Keep standing up. We are standing with you. Senator the Honourable Michaelia Cash, Shadow Attorney General. Thank you, Attorney General, soon to be Attorney General. She's a warrior for women and we need more women like her in the Liberal Party. Thank you.
Yeah, we'd like to see less talking, more action from all of the politicians. And we need to show it with our votes. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. So many good women doing so much good work. So that wraps up our speakers for today. I'd like to give a very special mention to the organising committee, Fern, Libby, Drew, and a huge shout out to Sue for doing all of the admin and so much more for today and making it happen. As well as a massive thank you to our anonymous financial donors for making this event possible. And for clarity, no, we are not funded by One Nation or J.K. Rowling, as some have stated.
We can always ask.
Yeah, we have. Well, not One Nation, but we have asked Joanne. So, I'd now like to invite our speakers back to the stage to accept their Turf Awards. So it's a thank you for being part of this morning and a token of our appreciation, and a big thank you to Elizabeth for these beautiful awards, Turfa Australis Awards. So can I invite up Sall Grover, Dr. Jillian Spencer, Kira Smith and Drew Hutton. Sexus Immutabilis Custodes. In grateful recognition of courageous service in defence of women and girls, and for steadfast resolve in protecting their rights, dignity and freedom. Elizabeth, you could probably present them if you like. Presented with appreciation for your fearless fight for your daughter and for ours. Thank you.
In case you aren't bored with me already. Sall Grover, presented with appreciation. I can't say.
Kira Smith, Turfus Australis, Certificate of Citizenship.
I have put words on, but I was going to cry, so I'll go to the men. They don't make me cry as much. Presented with appreciation for your principled courage and standing against gender ideology and calling the left back to truth. Drew Hutton. Dr. Jillian Spencer, presented with appreciation. 4. I can't read it. You're right, yeah, you do it. I'm going to cry.
This is because we are mothers defending our children. This is why we're so passionate and emotional, because we are women. Dr. Jillian Spencer, in grateful recognition of courageous service in defence of women and girls, presented with appreciation for your unflinching courage and professional integrity in defence of children and medical truth. And Senator Malcolm Roberts, presented with appreciation for your principled pursuit of truth and for fighting to remove gender ideology from law in defence of women and children. Sall Grover, presented with appreciation for your fearless fight for your daughter and for ours. Legends all, give it up, ladies and gentlemen. And a big, big thank you also to the Queensland Police Service for being in attendance in numbers today and keeping us all safe. And the Federal Police, thank you, Malcolm. Nothing more dangerous than women wanting to gather and speak about our rights, apparently. Nothing more dangerous. We will continue to speak the truth and help peak the world. We will never be silenced. We will not be erased. Not the trans, not the state. Women will decide their fate. Thank you so much for standing with us today. Reclaim our rights. Fix the act. Please feel free to come and take a photo of the legends on the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Not afraid. They try to make you hate.
We love you.
We should stay.
And you.
Thank you.
Do not forget. And doors must be free. The Lord must tell the truth again. For every girl.
Excuse me, can I just get past?
We are rising. We are standing. We are falling through the day. We're gonna win. We're not giving in. We're holding on till the truth breaks in. We're gonna win. We're not backing down. Women rise and we hold our ground. Don't take the
The admin lady? The admin lady that they met? Oh, I just want to say thank you. Oh, thank you. I know, Sall and everyone gets some attention, but what's that? Sall and everyone get attention, but I just want to say thank you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's great. It's great job.
There was a donation.
Yes, just over here.
Where's the donation tin gone? Does anyone know where the donation tin went? Oh, you got that? Donation.
I've been passing it round. I'd done it early on the salon.
reclaim women's rights.
Reclaim our rights.
Fixing it, right, okay, because I said women's rights rally when I threw myself this morning.
Yes.
I'm Joe. We spoke online.
Oh, hello.
Joe B. You know, yes. Sorry, I would have come to below before, but it was chaos, and I was trying to find you. But I
yeah, busy.
So
I'll just get this.
it was a good turnout. It was nice to see the crazy people kept